Okay, this is Algebra 1, Lesson 5.2. We're going to look at using intercepts today, x and y intercepts, to graph an equation. So for our warm-up, we're just going to solve the equations first. So 5x plus 0 equals minus 10. Basically, your 0 goes away, and you're just left with 5x equals negative 10. So to solve for x, you divide both sides by 5, and x equals negative 2. For number 2, 33 equals 0 plus 3y, we can rewrite that as 33 equals 3y because the 0 just goes away. Divide both sides by 3, and y is equal to 11. For this next one, number 3, we're going to use the least common multiple to get rid of all our denominators. And if you look, 10 is the smallest number that all of our denominators go into. So if I multiply everything by 10 or 10 over 1, that's the same thing, 10 or 10 over 1. These 10s are all going to cancel. This 5 will go into this 10 2 times, so I'm left with 2 times 4, which is 8x. Then I'm left with a 1 on top, plus 1, equals, I'm left with a 9. So now I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, and I'm left with 8x equals 8. Divide both sides by 8, and x is equal to 1. For this next one, we're going to combine like terms, so I'm going to move this 3x over to this side, and I'm going to do 2 steps in one here. I'm going to move this 14 over to the other side. So on the left side, I'm going to be left with 5x, and on the right side, I'm going to have a negative 14 plus a 4, which becomes negative 10. Divide both sides by 5, and x is equal to negative 2. All right, same thing on this last one. I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to add 5. Let's see if I can move this down a little bit for you guys to see better. There we go. I'm going to add 5y to both sides. I'm going to move this 5 over to the other side by subtracting it. So these go away. On this left side, I'm left with negative 6 equals my 5y and my 7y become 12y, and these 5s cancel. Divide both sides by 12. Negative 6 divided by 12 becomes a negative 1/2, and that is what y is equal to. Okay, so today we're going to look at finding x and y intercepts, and intercepts, what their meaning is, and then using the x and y intercepts to graph a line. So the y-intercept is just the y-coordinate of the point where the graph intercepts the y-axis. And remember, your y-axis is your up and down, okay? And your x is your horizontal. So our y-intercept is wherever the line intersects along this entire axis, okay? So for example, they're showing on this graph that negative 120 is the y-intercept. And then your x-intercept is just where the value or the line intersects along the x-axis. So on this one, they're not showing everything. It intersects at 4. Something to be aware of, wherever your y-intercept is, your x-coordinate will always be 0. Because if you think about it, if it's on the y-intercept, that means you haven't gone left or right, so x has to be 0. And then with your x-intercept, your y-coordinate is always 0 because we're moving left to right along the x-axis, but we're not going up or down. So that's something really important you guys need to know. Okay, so looking at a graph, how to be able to find the x and y intercepts if you're given a graph. All right, so the graph intersects the y-axis. Well, the y-axis is going up and down. So if we look and find where the graph intersects the y-axis, it's at the point 0, 1. And that makes sense because we said our y-intercept, our x value should be 0. So our y-intercept is at the value 1. It's just up positive 1. The graph intersects the x-axis over here at x equals negative 2, and that point is negative 2, 0, so we're not going up anything. So the x-intercept is just negative 2. Okay, so if I give you an equation, we need to be able to find the x and y intercepts. To find the x-intercept, it's really easy because all you have to do is replace y with 0, since we said if you're finding the x-intercept, your y value is going to be 0. So 5x minus 2 times 0, because we're replacing y with 0, equals 10. That 2 times 0 goes away, so we're left with 5x equals 10. Divide both sides by 5, our x is 2. So our coordinate of our x-intercept is 2, 0. For our y-intercept, we're going to plug 0 into x, so 5 times 0 minus 2y equals 10. The 5 times 0 goes away, and we're left with negative 2y equals 10. Divide both sides by negative 2, and y equals negative 5. So our y-intercept is 0, negative 5. Remember, whatever intercept we're finding, the other coordinate is 0. Okay, remember, to graph a linear function, all you need is to plot 2 points and to connect the 2 points. It's often simplest then to just find the ordered pairs that contain the x and y intercepts because you can plot them and connect them. It is helpful to find a third point to check your line. Either just choose a point from your graph and check it in the equation, or use the equation to make up a point and make sure it's on your line. So that's how you check that it works. Okay, so we're given an equation. We're going to find the x and y intercepts, and then we're going to graph the line. So our equation is 3x minus 7y equals 21. To find the x-intercept, we're going to plug 0 in for y. So that makes that whole term go away, so we're just left with 3x equals 21. Divide both sides by 3, and x is equal to 7. Kind of cut off that 7 a little bit. For your y-intercept, you're just going to plug 0 into x and solve for y. So then this goes away. We're left with negative 7y equals 21. Divide both sides by negative 7, and y equals negative 3. Now, to plot our graph here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so our x-intercept is at x equals 7. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's not up any because it's the x-intercept. It's wherever it passes the x-axis. Our y-intercept we just found was negative 3. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3. And we're not going to go over anything since it's the y-intercept. Now you have 2 points. And in order to draw the graph, you just connect them with a straight line. And I didn't really draw that very straight, but it should be a straight line. Okay, so the equation, y equals negative x plus 4. So our x-intercept, we're going to plug 0 in for y. So that we need to get this x on the other side. So we're going to add x to both sides, and x is just equal to 4. Now your y-intercept, okay, we're going to plug 0 into x. So y equals negative 0 plus 4. That 0 goes away, and we're just left with y equals 4. So our y-intercept is 4, and our x-intercept is 4. Now we're going to graph this. So our y-intercept was 4, and our x-intercept was 4. It doesn't always come out that way. That's just how it worked on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So y-intercept, we're going to go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And our x-intercept is over 1, 2, 3, 4. To draw our line, we just connect the points with a nice straight line. You could use a ruler to make it straight if you want, and you're done. Okay, last one. We're going to graph this using our intercepts again. So x-intercept, plug 0 in for y. So this all goes away, and we're left with 1/4 x equals 2. To solve for x, you multiply both sides by 4 because that's the inverse operation. The 4's go away, and we're left with x equals 8. Okay. Our y-intercept, we're going to plug in 0 into x. So I'm going to have 0 in for x times 1/4 equals 2 minus 1/3 y. This is going to become 0 equals 2 minus 1/3 y. I'm going to add 1/3 y to both sides because I want to move it over. That makes it positive. So 1/3 y equals 2. To get rid of this 3, 1/3, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So these 3's cancel. And y is equal to 6. So now We're just going to graph our line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our x-intercept is over 8. And our y-intercept is a positive 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we connect our lines, and there is the graph of our line. So big thing, to graph a line, the best thing to do is to find your x and y intercepts. If you're finding your x-intercept, you make y 0. If you're finding your y-intercept, you make x 0. And then you're going to know where the line intersects on those axes, and all you have to do is connect them, and that is all.